So, hello everybody, my name is ImmorTAL and welcome today to a game. And this game is going to be Guess the ELO but worse. There are some games that in your life that you look at and you're like, well, there's just no way this is a real game, that I didn't fabricate this. I did not. I saw this game live in school today, played by Mr. Samuel Repchik, Repcho.3 on Instagram. Here you can go and visit him, a really cool dude, but man, this is a rapid game, but it's gonna feel like hyperbullet. Watch. Alright, so we open up with e4, you know, it's the Scandinavian defense, and we already go into whatever the fuck this is. Samo, of course, being a principled man, takes, and the opponent hangs his knight by move 3. Samo, being a principled man, gives his opponent another choice. That's one blunder, already. So after this, the knight gets moved, like, well, that's a square to move the knight for sure. We take the pawn, of course, and now we're just up a beautiful pawn. Life is good, and we get this check off. Now, a normal person probably here would, you know, block the check. But Mr. Swiss 123, who is not Swiss but Indonesian, doesn't know his flags well apparently, also does not know his moves well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome King e7 on move 6. Not forced, by the way. Samuel, of course, goes ahead and attacks a knight that is already defended, and when the knight is not defended, developed, sorry, the word popped out, Samuel hangs his bishop. So we can just now take back, our king is completely safe, and we have a bishop. Yeah, the man decides to move his king backwards. This sets up an array of wholly new problems after this move. This is a discovered check, and we also just win a full piece. We can just skedaddle right out of the position, and we are chilling. You know why? Because the rook cannot trap our queen. The queen is still standing in the way. So none of that happened, because after takes and going back, Samuel decided to hop in with his horse. Alright, Samuel is a principled man, still 100% hanging this bishop. If we take with the knight, the fork is now covered, but we don't see any of that, as he takes it this way, which allows to... I was about to say it allows this. And after the king would move, at least you would be winning the rook. At least. No, my man Samuel, queen e6. The opponent, being a brave man, blocks the check. Knight e6 doesn't exist. We block the check, alright, it's fine. Knight e6, still probably a preferred move by everyone playing, but Samuel goes for the all-powerful c4, which I god know what that does. And we enter this position where Samuel loses his queen and trades off. So we are now down 7 points of material, but we still continue fighting. We decide to hang a pawn, which was defended previously. It's not like we could have gone knight f3 and then maybe pushed, or maybe just, you know, castled this way, but whatever. The bishop trade gets offered. It's basically undodgeable, so we trade it away that we activate our rook, and we lose the d-pawn as anticipated. Samuel now attacks the queen, a move that isn't atrocious, completely fine move. The queen slides back, and Samuel attacks the knight, maybe looking for a little tactic here, where we could drag the queen away and take the knight with a check, but of course the opponent can just castle here, not castle, sorry, because we moved the king, but this is completely winning. But none of that happens, as the opponent brings the other rook, which is also fine. Samuel the brave f4. The game previously I told him, Samo play f4 because it's a good move. Well, now I guess he's gonna be playing f4 for the rest of his life. Here we have, oh god. You know, rook f4 is diabolical. I mean, we take here, okay, this is a completely ridiculous move, because we not only lost a rook, but now we are also losing a knight. So remember about that tactic I told you about all the way back here, how we could drag the queen away and maybe sneakily take this knight? Yeah, the opponent gives us the knight and the rook. So we went from being plus 7 points of material to being plus 2, but of course it's still completely losing. I mean, Samuel still has to just not do anything stupid, and the opponent has to just not do anything stupid, and Samuel is going to lose. Now here there is the threat of going over here and pinning the queen, which would be losing at that point, so the opponent wisely stops it. You cannot of course move the rook here now because you would be hanging your own king. So Samuel goes for the almighty powerful. Definitely not an issue for Samuel, who will be able to, I mean, murder his opponent after this. Like, this is completely over for Samuel. But, of course, we get this check, which is even better because now you are forced to move the king this way, and now the rook is up for grabs. Samuel, being a principled man, gives a check for absolutely no reason, and then, oh! You see, Samuel saw ahead. You would expect the opponent to go back and actually cover his rook, or go back over... no, this is the only move. Go back to defend his rook. No. Samuel thought 4 moves ahead, and now we are taking the rook. Okay, we are given a check, that does not matter, and now we take the knight. Samuel brings back the rook. Of course, do not go rook to f4 here, because that would just hang a rook in one move. Why am I mentioning it? You'll see later. Samuel makes a random rook move, because what is there left to do? By the way, in a rapid game, we're still playing blitz. The opponent has 7 minutes and 19, Samuel has 6:21. Yeah, boot up a rapid game, guys. We go right back here attacking the rook with the king because we definitely do not have a queen to move, and we definitely could not have been doing some insanely annoying business right here, like this for instance, which is just... Even this, just go ahead and push the pawn and win. But of course we move the king because, like, of course, obviously you move the king when you're up a queen. So Samuel gives the check, we go right back, and... Samo, what did I say? It's just a free... Wait. That was not played? Okay, but surely now, like, surely we were just delaying, of course, the only legal moves. So now you can't even take the rook. You go here, fine. Alright, you're in check now. Surely you... Do we have a blind spot? That was like the 5th time. Alright, so we move the king. Because the only way to get out of a check is to move the king. We're checked again. Now you can thank God that the pawn is not here and this pawn is not missing. We move the king. Fine, valid. Just completely hang this pawn. And now Samuel, when he sees that his rook is hanging this way, Samuel does not like it. Samuel wants to hang it this way. And the immortal rook dies. Samuel bravely taking with the king. He is down to his last 2 pawns, making it the last one. Spoiler alert. I don't think black is gonna win this game. We have Samo going bravely back. At this point, I come to the game and I'm screaming, Samo, go with the pawn, lose it, and pray to God he's gonna stalemate. There is no other way. Surely he's not winning this with 1 pawn against the queen and 4. There is no way that's gonna happen, right? Oh, no. Wait. Here I was screaming for the opponent for the repetition. I was like, Samo, go, this may be the only chance. Ah, god damn it. But Samo just stops the check now. And here he just shuffles pieces around mindlessly. And here I'm like, yo, you should probably actually go ahead and lose this pawn so that maybe there is a chance for stalemate. So, of course, Samuel pushes. And he pushes again. Now here I'm expecting just an automatic takes, and promoting to a queen. And it's completely over. Like if it wasn't over already. Now Samuel here was like, yo, why? This move I actually played myself. For Samuel, I'm going like, bro, go here. Why do we not want to go here? Of course, this. Just purely this. This is checkmate number 1. And if you go this way, I believe this is checkmate. Yes. And if you go down, this is checkmate. So we wanted to avoid a quicker checkmate. So we went back here. What is queen d1? Sorry, queen 2d1 or no, dd1. That's how it's dd1. Anyway, queen d1. No idea what that does, because now I can make a queen. I'm sorry, how did this pawn make it through unknown? Now you notice it. But you forget that you don't get 2 moves in a row. Whoopsie! Alright, now you remember that you actually have the other queen that you had previously. A6 is ingenious because we want to give a check over here, but we forget that we can get checked ourselves. And in a queen endgame, you can be up pawns, but if you get checked into a perpetual, or you get checked in a way that your king and queen stand on one line and you can skewer on the diagonal, you can actually even lose or make a draw by forced repetition. So Samuel's a pawn. Oh my god! My other friend who was watching this game was like, yo, look at the dude. He's gonna step on the light squares and get... Here we started screaming at the entire hallway going, Samuel, go! Go! There are 2 moves! I was like, Samo, give a check on the light squares! He was like, gotcha, bro! What the fuck is Queen B7? That not only takes a pawn and not a queen, it hangs the queen! But Samuel is an immortal man. He's made it all the way here. I mean, we all know that the only way to get out of a check is to move the king. Now Samuel can repeat by giving the check here, winning the queen or just winning it straight away, whichever he prefers. Samuel prefers the pawn. He wants to give his opponent a chance to beat him in a pure queen endgame. Samuel is now equal material from a position where he was down 14 points, and he's down on the clock a minute, but it's a rapid game, he's not going to lose on time, surely. So Samuel keeps giving checks. I'm like, try to drag the king away from the queen to place them on the diagonal, or bring your king. Here Samuel was hovering above the move king c4. I screamed at it, yelling at him, bro, your queen is hanging, what are you doing? And so I was like, oh yeah, right, I should probably give a check. The king is now getting away from the queen. That seems dangerous, doesn't it? Samuel gives another check. You can of course block with the queen, which is now completely fine, completely reasonable. We play queen e5 check. And Samuel's opponent makes the last blunder of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, the only losing move in the position, queen to d4 check. Samuel was hovering the king. But the amount of screaming from me and my friend Daniel was enough to convince him to play queen d4 himself. And ladies and gentlemen, the one pawn, the brave c-pawn that got absolutely randomly pushed in the beginning of the game. Watch the c-pawn, it's just standing on c4. It got randomly pushed back here, sacrificing the queen, because Samuel saw that down the line, this very pawn is going to be more precious than his queen, and is going to resurrect itself and win the game. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how Samuel was able to reach 622 ELO in rapid chess. Thank you for watching. Go check out Samuel, and may God bless you all.